What's up, everybody? Welcome to Double R's Kitchen. For those who are familiar with the channel, welcome back. Today we are making some homemade donuts. Yes, it's morning time still and I feel like having some donuts. But before we do that, I want to take a trip outside. I got a testimony for y'all and I just want to share this with you because I feel like it'll benefit somebody who tunes into this video. So I'm gonna grab my camera, we're gonna take a trip to my backyard, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's take a trip to this backyard over here. Okay. I want to show y'all this tree. You see this tree right here? This is the reason why we're in this backyard, solely for this tree. This is what I want to talk about today. So I just wanted to show you a picture of this tree, all the leaves, everything about this tree. Everything is about to start fruiting. As you can see, other trees are fruiting as well. Like this tree right here, you can see like the little fruits coming through, like right there. So let's go back in the house and let me tell you why that tree is important. Okay, so the reason why that tree is important is because when I went and bought it from Home Depot, it didn't have any of the sprouts that it had on it. It honestly, I can't even show you guys, but like if this were the leaves that you guys see that are out now, the leaves were covered, they weren't out. So whenever I get any type of plant or tree or anything that I plant in my backyard, the first thing I do is I obviously dig a hole, I put the soil in, then I'll put in the tree or I'll put in the plant. After it's covered, I'll water it, and the next thing I do is I put my hands in the dirt and I pray over the tree. And I'll talk to God and I'll ask him, hey, you know, this tree that we have here, I ask that you help it to grow, help it to bear lots of fruit, so that I can enjoy it, the people in my house can enjoy it, and family and friends can enjoy it as well. And sometimes I'll even say allow the animals to enjoy it too, because you know there's birds that fly around everywhere and squirrels and stuff. So I had done that with this tree. This was last week Saturday I did that, and a couple of hours later I had to go back into the backyard because I went to go buy some dirt. And when I went in the backyard, I just happened to look at the tree. Now, mind you, that tree, none of the leaves were showing at all. There were no leaves showing. None, not a one. They were all closed up. I prayed, left my house for about 2 hours, came back, and everything was bloomed. I was so thrown back by that. I immediately looked up in the sky and I was like, hey, you showing out? You showing out, huh? And I was super excited. Why am I telling you guys this story? I'm telling it to you for two reasons. One, because prayer works. Prayer changes things. It makes things happen. Two, when you have a testimony and you are giving a testimony to people, a testimony is used to give people motivation or that extra strength, or just for them to know, like, you know what, if this can happen to him, then it can happen for me too. Whatever it is that you're waiting on, it's coming your way. You just have to pray about it and truly believe that when you pray, that he will answer you. I've talked about this before in one of my other videos about how impactful prayer is and how it changes things. And that in itself, something so small, I was able to see the results of that. Me putting my hands in the dirt, asking him to touch this tree, bless this tree, give it fruit, and now I'm seeing the fruits of that labor. So I wanted to start off by telling you guys this. I've actually been sitting on this for about a week, and I was like, I gotta share this. I gotta share this. So I wanted to share that with y'all. But let's go ahead and dive into the donuts, because we got a lot going on here today. We have some melted butter, we got some sugar, we have eggs, we have 2 packets of active dry yeast that we're going to be using, we have sugar, we have 4 cups of flour, and we have some milk that actually needs to be heated up at 110 degrees. So I have my nifty little thermometer here. I'm going to go ahead and heat this milk up, and then once the milk is heated up, we can go ahead and start combining the ingredients and getting to where we need to be. All right, so my milk is heated up. I'm going to go ahead and pour it in this bowl. I'm going to also going to mix in both packets of active dry yeast. And I believe this is a teaspoon of salt, or sugar, sorry, teaspoon of sugar. Let me just go ahead and mix this up. This I'm gonna let sit at the side, and we are going to go ahead and mix in the butter, sugar, and eggs. Go ahead and give this a mix. I would say that's mixed up pretty well. So our dry yeast mix, we're gonna let that stand for about 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and combine that in this mixture. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Let me show you this real quick. Our yeast has gone ahead and risen up, and that's what it should look like. It's all puffed up. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to pour this yeast mixture into our egg, butter, sugar mixture that we have right here. And we're just going to give this a mix. That's good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up our dry. I have my flour and my teaspoon of salt, I believe. I'm going to pour this in here, mix this up a little bit, real quick. And then now we're going to combine the wet and the dry. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the dry into the wet. We're going to mix this by hand, of course, because I don't have a stand mixer. And then after I mix this and it comes into a sticky dough, we'll roll this out. I've already floured my surface of my mat, so we'll roll it out, knead it, and we'll move. All right, so I'm just gonna combine this, and I'm gonna just knead it a little bit. Take it out of this bowl. We're just going to knead this dough. All right, so the next thing that we need to do now that this is done. Now, I know that if you're at home and you're like, okay, well, how long do I knead my dough for? Basically what you want to do is you want to knead your dough until it bounces back. Watch this. You see how it springs back? That lets you know that it's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some oil in a bowl. Not a lot, just a little bit. Move my hand all around the bowl. And I'm going to put this dough in this bowl. And I'm going to put this in my oven because it's a warm place. My oven's not on. I'm just putting it in there because it's warm. I'll obviously cover it. I just have to go get a towel and put it over this. And this will go in there for about an hour. And after an hour, we'll come back and I'll show you guys what the next steps look like. All right, it's been an hour. So let me go ahead and unwrap our dough. Look at this. See how it has risen? So we're going to go ahead and pull this dough out. Oh, I forgot to punch it down. My bad. Always got to punch your dough down. So I punched it down. Now it's time for this to come out. We're going to go ahead and lay this down here. Move this around. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on the top here. Not too much. The video I watched, when the guy was rolling this dough out, he didn't roll it out too much. It was just enough. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just roll it out just enough. I don't want to do too much, and I don't want to do too little. So just enough. I think that is good. I got my handy dandy donut cutter here that I've never used before. I'm going to go ahead and use this and cut a hole. Actually, I need to move some stuff around. I have a tray with parchment paper in it, so we're going to put each of our donuts in there. And of course, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you go to the edge when you're cutting your donut out. Pull this up. Look at that. Got my little donut hole. That's pretty cool. And so I am going to do this whole thing. I'm just going to go around and cut these out, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. And then also, again, we have a second rise that we need to do. So this will go into the oven that's not on, just a warm place, for about another 40-45 minutes. And then in the meantime, while this is in the oven, I need to heat my oil with my candy thermometer. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, y'all, I'm back. So what we got going on right now, we have our oil that's already been heated. We have our donuts that have went through their second rise, as you can see. So the first thing I'm actually going to do, check my temperature. Temperature is at 350 degrees, so that is a plus. I'm going to go ahead and drop in the donut holes. Be very careful as you're taking those and dropping them in. You don't want them to burn. And as you can see, they're already starting to turn brown. You see that donut right there? So you kind of just, you gotta watch them closely. Don't move away from this. Don't go do something else while these are cooking. You gotta stay right here. Alright, so as you guys see, I got all my donuts, I got my donut holes, everything is done. So the next thing we need to do is do the glaze. I'm doing glazed donuts. I'm not doing chocolate because I don't really like chocolate donuts, so I just want to do the safe glaze, and we're going to go about it that way. So in this container, or in this bowl, I have powdered sugar. I have 6 tablespoons of milk that I'm going to pour in here. I've got some vanilla. And of course, I've mixed in my favorite ingredient. I put a dab of this in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up. Okay, so I got my glaze ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump in all these donut holes, because those are the easiest things to do. And bring the camera closer so you guys can see. And all I'm gonna do is spoon the glaze over these donut holes. And I'm gonna put them on my wire rack. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the donuts. So when the donuts are done and they've cooled off, I'll do a taste test for you guys, and I'll give you guys my opinion. All right, y'all, we're all done. Look at this. These are all the donuts that we made. So you already know I'm about to do a little taste test for y'all. I'm gonna grab one of these donut holes. One of these donuts right here. I'm gonna go ahead and have a bite. Let's see. That's crazy. That tastes like the donut store. Look at that. Soft, sweet. All the work that I had to do this was worth it. It is so good. This is a really good donut recipe. It's very fluffy on the inside. The outside is a tiny bit crispy. But good recipe, like the right amount of fluff, the right amount of sweetness. I really enjoyed making this. I got to get off camera because I got to devour this. But make sure y'all talk to Jesus. Make sure y'all pray at night like you're supposed to. Be blessed, take care, and don't forget to say your prayers. Your boy gone.